Hi, good morning, everybody. Joe Van Doren here, and welcome to our Virtues Pick for today. I think it's so important for us to focus on a virtue each day, and that's why I do this little thing. I do it so that I make sure that I focus on it, and I really hope that it's something that you can enjoy and maybe benefit in some way from also. But today, when we shook up our phone, the word that came up for us today was compassion. And what a great virtue that is, right? And one that we hear a lot about. And so let's read the description first from the Virtues Project, and then we will discuss a little bit about how we're seeing its effect on us. So, compassion is deep empathy for another who is suffering or living with misfortune. It is understanding and caring, and a strong desire to ease their distress. Compassion flows freely from our hearts when we let go of judgments and seek to understand. Our compassionate presence helps people to know they are not alone. Sometimes they don't need us to fix anything. They only need to be heard with compassion so that they can connect to their own inner wisdom. We need our own compassion as much as others do. Whether a silent prayer or a gentle touch, compassion is a priceless gift. Well, what a great word, and one that we do hear a lot about. We hear it in connection to, demonstrating kindness and the action part of empathy, and we hear it in a number of different ways. And as I was reading this morning, I was thinking about how so many times, when people are lashing out at us or saying or acting out in some manner that is distressful to us. It's many times, most of the time, if not all of the time, because they are suffering in some fashion, that they're living with some sort of belief system, some sort of something that's happened to them, some activity or something that someone has said to them, but they're feeling this discord inside of themselves, and and it comes out as lashing out at someone else. And I think that this is an area that we need to spend more time. At least I would like to spend more time on practicing. It's easy for us, maybe, or easier for us to see a bad situation where someone has fallen on hard times, or some other difficulty has come up into their life, an illness or something else, and we have deep empathy for that. We reach down, we find our compassion, we demonstrate it in some manner, whether it's giving a physical gift, or we give them some other way that we connect with them, so that we're present with them, and so that they can feel that connection. And that sometimes comes easier than maybe when our significant other, or our child, or someone especially that's close to us, lashes out in some fashion, or does something that we would prefer that they didn't do, or really comes off to us in some manner that is just doesn't seem like it's something that we should be receiving. And many times our reaction to that is not with a means of trying to understand or where they're coming from. It's not in that compassionate state that we're trying to understand or what or how that they might be suffering. So when I read these virtues, the first place that I go with them is not outside of myself and outside of my family. This is where I begin. Excuse me. And so when I read this about compassion, I'm thinking to myself about how is it that I can demonstrate this more fully with family members. And, I don't have children at home anymore. Obviously they're all grown and gone and have their own families. But I can remember back to them, to the children doing things that were upsetting to me, and me not exactly trying to understand where they were coming from, not being very companioning with them. It was a little bit more of a just do this because I said so. So that's not the best thing. It's not the best thing for them. It doesn't teach them compassion. It doesn't teach them to look to their own self to find the virtues that they need in that particular moment. There's no teaching that's done at that place. And there's certainly no happiness that takes place there. And you end up with both parties being very upset. So practicing this compassion at home with our loved ones, especially our partners, our spouses, our children, our own mothers and fathers, and not just dismissing what it is that they're feeling because it's upsetting to us. And I think that that's a great place to start, and that's where I'm starting with this today. I'm going to focus on how is it that I am demonstrating this virtue of compassion with those closest to me. And, it doesn't mean that I have to do anything for them. It could be that, I don't respond or react in a way that is not helpful. Or it could be that it's just me listening. I don't have to come up with all the answers. It could be that I just need to listen. And in our companioning, which is the fifth strategy of the virtues, the fifth strategy is all about companioning. It's about listening. It's about guiding, but not forcing anything, but just helping the other person find their own wisdom within, to find their own virtues within, so that they know exactly what's right for them. And that is very compassionate. That's a much more compassionate way of working with anyone, whether it's a child or an adult. It's a gift, right, that we're giving them. And and that's an area that, quite frankly, I didn't do too well as a parent, but with younger kids. And I do it much better now, but I'm still working on it. So what about you? We don't have to fix everything for our spouse. We don't have to fix everything for our kids. We do need to be there for them with unconditional love and a recognition that when they're not feeling well, when they're a recognition that when they are, espousing things that are, and feeling angry or feeling depression or feeling any of those other things, it's because they're suffering in some fashion. And compassion is having that empathy for those feelings and that understanding and caring about it to a place that we're willing to do what we can to help them find their own inner wisdom, one, and number two, to let them know that we are there with unconditional love. So how do we teach our kids about that? Well, obviously, we have to demonstrate it, because our kids learn how to deal with other people by watching us deal with other people, and especially with them. So, I don't know about you, but I know that there were many times in my parenting life that I would stop and think, oh my goodness, I'm acting just like my mother or acting just like my father. And maybe that wasn't the road I wanted to go down. So, we know that kids learn this way. So let's all demonstrate, be that role model of this compassionate, empathetic, caring and understanding and unconditional love that we can give to them, working very diligently to understand whatever suffering that they might be having and helping them to connect to their own inner wisdom. So those are my thoughts today about this virtue of compassion. If you enjoyed this, please like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and share it with others, as I really believe that if all of us continue to focus on the virtues and how we want to see them developed in ourselves, that we'll live in a better place, in a better world. So thank you for being here, and until next time, keep practicing the virtues and the 4 C's of successful families, and that is clarity, communication, consistency, and community. Until next time, bye.